Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Nomofsky. Today's episode, we're discussing the important role of being an executor. I'm joined by Cheryl Maloney, a Certified Executor Advisor at Caldwell Securities Ltd. So, Cheryl, I want to talk about the importance of a will. Why is it important to have a will?
Well, if you don't have a will, then one, you cannot name an executor. And if you don't have a will, your assets are going to be distributed according to a government formula. And it may not go to the people you'd like it to go to, or for those in your family that you need it to go to. So having a will is extremely important.
So let's talk, we talked about everyday examples. Can you talk about an everyday example of protecting the assets of the estate?
So when I talk about this in my seminars, I'll ask the audience, who here has a key to their parents' home? Or who here is given a key to their adult children for their home? And virtually everybody raises their hand.
Right.
So I share an example of why it's important for an executor to protect and secure the assets of the estate. So again, this is a true case where there was a mom who had a modest estate. She had 3 daughters, and she named the eldest as the executor. So when she passed away, before she passed away, she went around the house and stuck sticky notes on the back of everything. Blue for the eldest, yellow for the middle child, and pink for the baby. So as she's going through and doing all that, everybody in the family knows what their color code is.
Right.
So after mom passes away, the youngest daughter says to her older sister, she says, I want to go get my stuff. She says, well, you have a key to mom's house. Why don't you go in and get everything that's labeled pink? That's
right.
yours.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes in, does that. And then 2 days later, the middle sister goes in and phones her executor sister and says, where are my things? I'm promised mom's silver tea set. She goes, well, your stuff is marked in yellow. And she said, well, there's nothing here. The youngest sister went in and took absolutely everything in the house.
Wow.
And guess what? The middle sister sued for that silver tea set. She didn't sue her younger sister who took it. She sued the executor who was responsible for protecting the assets.
So that's a very important story to resonate with everyone, because families run on trust, or they're supposed to run on trust. I have a key to your house, you have a key to my house. Mm-hmm. You can come and go as you please. I can come and go as I please. But you would never think that I would go in and take everything, and I would never think that you would do the same thing. So the job of the executor with that specific example is very, very important.
And you don't think of it, you don't want to offend anybody, but one thing you should do as an executor is change the locks. So anyone with a key will not have unsupervised access.
A great idea. So you shared this important piece of information with us. What is it that you do as part of your practice?
So I first start with clients by doing a comprehensive review on specific areas of concern. So areas that can trigger potential legal and administrative issues for an executor. So we look at those things. And then we do a list of assets, properties, businesses, this inventory list that the executor can work with. We also look at clarifying what the final wishes are. We can look at, if we have identified any gaps, we certainly will create a roadmap to fix those. And also key information. So information that the executor is going to need, like the passport number, all the things that you have in your wallet, for example, that they're going to have to cancel. So we create a list for the executor to work with. And then if there is no will, by chance, if the client does not have a will, we'll sit down and talk about specific requests and gather all the information that they can take to an estate lawyer to get their will done. And lastly, and probably one of the most important things, is I try to facilitate communication between the testator, the executor, and the beneficiaries, if possible, so that everyone's on the same page when it comes to intergenerational legacy plans.
So communication is key.
Oh, yeah.
There are 2 things that I think are extremely important. Number 1, if you have a pet, make sure that you have somebody that'll take care of your pet when you pass.
Yes.
The other thing, too, is with social media, we need to be able to share our passwords so that if you are taking care of the deceased social media, you're going to have to be able to close those down and make sure that their legacy is protected. Thank you so much for everything that you've shared with us today, Cheryl.
Thank you so much, Liz.